want to talk to you about what happens when the old version of you has already started to fall away, but the new one hasn't landed yet. This is that in-between state called the void. And I want to share with you, this is going to be a really powerful episode because I'm sharing with you currently being in the void, and I'm going to show you how I am holding myself through it all without grasping or collapsing or lowering my standards. So if you are in a season of like, what is happening? Who am I? What am I doing? What's going on here? And just like questioning everything, and you're like wondering, am I doing something wrong? Then this video is for you. The void, let's talk about it, all right? There comes a time where you're just growing and evolving as a leader, and the old version of you, you're like, nope, you can't come with me to where I'm going next, okay? And you realize that, you're aware of it, you're starting to realize, okay, you know what? I've actually outgrown this. I'm going to raise the standards here. I'm going to raise the bar here. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to actually do this now, right? And when you are in the void, it's really easy for your brain to be like, you're failing. You're not doing it right. Why? Because it's the point in your identity evolution of the quantum leap, whatever you want to call it, where there's so much uncertainty. You are literally in the unknown. Why? Because you've never been this next level version of yourself. You've never had these kind of clients before. You've never done these opportunities before. You've never had this kind of visibility before. You've never had this kind of impact before. So of course, your body is screaming, this is not safe. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, I must be doing something wrong. You're very aware. You're like, okay, this older part of me, this older version of me is no longer working. When you're in the void, it's like you're toggling from your old identity into your new identity. So like the old one, you're like, yep, nope, not doing that anymore, not being her anymore. But the new identity is still like stabilizing. It's still landing in your body, okay? So this phase feels longer when you are doing it, I want to say like cleanly. When you are doing it with integrity and without hijacking your nervous system or bypassing your nervous system. So I want to kind of talk about the way in which I have been leading myself, because I mean, there are moments that have come up where I'm just like, whoa, hold on a minute, where I've questioned, okay, wait, am I doing this out of integrity? Okay, am I really listening and being in tune with my body, or am I maybe doing things out of urgency? Because it's uncomfortable being in the void. It's uncomfortable when you launch a new offer or program and no one buys, or like 2 people buy, okay? It's uncomfortable when you are tweaking and refining your messaging to speak to a new client, but it seems like there's crickets and nothing's landing, but secretly there's people watching you, right? There's the feeling of just like urgency to like rush through this uncomfortable part where you're just like, I don't know, is this it? And I'm a 1-3 projector. So my line 3 is like, I take the action and then I learn. So I learn from my mistakes. I learn from taking action. And this is like the through line of my entire life, which is why I have so much embodied wisdom, because I literally try everything. And if I fail, I fail, but that's failing forward, as John Maxwell says, right? It's like, I'm failing, but I'm failing forward because I'm learning from the mistakes that I'm making. Because when you don't take action, then how do you even know, right? This phase, it feels so much longer when you're like being discerning with what actions you're deciding to take, with who you're deciding to be daily. And when you're doing things out of integrity and alignment versus going back to maybe the safety in your body and your nervous system and your old identity and being like, actually, let's go ahead and create this quick low ticket offer because I feel like I have to create this offer so that my people will buy because it's less money, and I've never created this other offer before or hosted this retreat or hosted this class before, and I'm worried that people aren't going to buy. Like, we all get to that like spiral space, right? And for me, that's what it looked like. It was like throughout the year, okay, this evolution, this void, really, I've been in the thick of it this year, okay? Starting in the end of 2024 into 2025, when I said goodbye to my old identity as a bridal hair educator, trainer, coach, right? I was teaching other bridal beauties how to be educators and coaches. And then I shut down all of my bridal styling programs online. And then I was like, I was building the iconic woman movement because that was my alter ego I was becoming. So I started building the iconic woman movement. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, this is going to happen so fast, right? Like I have 100,000 followers on Instagram. Like people are going to grow and evolve with me. And hello, I got a rude awakening with that. Okay, which is why I felt like this void, although it honestly hasn't been that long. A year is really nothing when you are building a legacy, when you are building a movement, when you are rebranding yourself. Like that takes time and foundation building, okay? And that's going to be a whole nother episode about rebuilding your foundation as you are evolving and growing and scaling, or maybe transitioning or pivoting in your career or in your business. That'll be a whole nother episode. But there was this time where I felt like this sense of urgency, like, oh my God, I need to figure out the offer suite right away. I need to figure out my soul aligned client right away. I need to figure out my messaging right away. But none of these things happened right away because it would just be me like guessing. I actually had to live it. I actually had to create those different pieces of content. I actually had to have different conversations with people. I actually had to launch those programs where some of them flopped and no one buy, or just 5 people bought or a couple of people bought, in order to learn, oh wait, this is actually the soul aligned offer or thing that I want to create. I actually had to take that action, right? There's that like chasing that quick validation that you're going to want to do when you're in the void, or want to get like that quick cash injection, especially this, because when you are in this void, when you are in this transition, when you are growing and evolving, you're raising your standards, right? You are growing and evolving to a version of yourself that you've never been before. You are doing things that you've never done before. This is a new space. This is a new income that's coming in. This is going to be a new form of visibility for you, new opportunities for you, new clients you're working with. You've literally never been this version of you or experienced this version of what is happening around you before. So this is the part where people usually like abandon themselves and they're like, this is a whole bunch of uncertainty and unknown, and I don't even want to go there because it doesn't feel safe in my body. And you'll like start lowering your standards just to feel relief. You will start maybe discounting your services. You will maybe start lying to yourself and be like, oh, I don't really want to go this big. I don't really want to do this thing because it's seeming like it's really difficult for me to get there. And I don't like being in the unknown. I don't like this uncertainty. So I'm just going to kind of, stay circling the same kind of level. This is why nervous system mastery is so essential for leveling up and for identity shifting. And I know this from living it, okay? When I shut down my bridal styling programs at the end of last year, at the end of this year, okay? At the end of last year, beginning of this year, I started taking my somatic certification in June for 6 months. So from June, I graduated in October. So during that whole time, during this whole year being in the void, I had learned how to regulate my nervous system, how to rewire my nervous system to feel grounded and safety in my body and in my truth so that I can hold my standards, even if the external world around me hadn't caught up yet. I've been able to hold in this season and be so certain that things are going to work out in the uncertainty. That is a superpower. This is why I am so passionate about teaching this work, because when you don't do this work, when you don't have the self-awareness, when you don't have the tools to rewire your subconscious within, you're going to stay at the same level. You're going to stay circling the same level, or you're going to totally bypass your nervous system and you're going to have to hustle harder and push in order to get to the next level that you are craving. That's what happens. I know because I've lived it. I've done it. I've bypassed my system. I've hustled my way there and it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. And that's a story for another day. I want to share with you in this void, okay? The universe, God, source, whatever, is going to kind of test you a little bit. It's going to put little breadcrumbs out and be like, all right, you ready for this visibility? I'm going to put you to the test. You ready to work with these new clients? I'm going to put you to the test to see if you would still default to your old version of yourself to please these clients right now and get these clients to pay you for your services, even though they're misaligned. And this happened for me this month. I had 3 yeses to be my one-to-one client. Okay, 3 people who said, yes, I want to be in your one-to-one container. I was like, happy freaking Christmas to me. Merry Christmas to me. Abundance flowing in. Yeah, baby. And this was all within 2 weeks time. Okay. I got 3 people that are like, yes, let's freaking go. I had, I had an onboarding thing for them. I had them fill out Google Forms so I can get to know them more. I aligned a whole roadmap of what we were going to do with the one-to-one. I filled out the contracts with them, all the things, right? Because guess what happened? They all ended up ghosting after they said they were ready to go. I had 3 different situations. One of them, she was like, yes, give me your one-to-one breakthrough week. Yes, and then I'll sign up for the 6-month container. And yes, I want to be in your Iconic Woman Collective for visionary and leaders and be in that mastermind. She said yes to all 3. And then she froze. She ghosted me for a week. I followed up with her. She got back to me and she said, I'm going to wait till I get more money, clients. You know, she had the internal conflict. And ultimately, it's because she didn't trust herself. And I wasn't trying to prove, force, convince, objection handle. I've done that before. The Iconic Woman doesn't do that. The Iconic Woman stays grounded. She knows her truth. She knows the right clients are going to come in and be like, yes, I see who you are. I believe in your core pillars and your beliefs. I love what you're doing here. I want that transformation and I'm ready to freaking go. Okay, those are my clients. So ghosted. The other one, I had a call with her, ready to go, sent the email, all the things, great, I'm ready to pay, ready to go now. Ghosted. And then the third one, we had a call set up. She never showed up to the call and never said why. And I could have questioned, what happened? Where did I go wrong? Did I check in with them too many times? Did I do that? No. I handled it with such certainty, with such groundedness. I did a little follow-up. There was no forcing, proving anything. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to let go. And they're either going to come back in my world later on or not. And I'm okay with that. And that's what they mean by like detaching from the outcome, right? It's like, I know you watching this right now, you could be my soul line client that's going to message me after watching this video and being like, I fucking love you. I resonated with you so much. Girl, take me through this identity evolution and let me rise to the iconic woman that I am. I know you are there listening to me right now. And it's okay if those 3 other clients who ghosted weren't it. I'm okay. I'm grounded in that. But when you're in the void, it's going to test you, and you're going to have times where you're like, oh my God, I feel like I need to objection handle. I feel like I need to convince this person to work with me. And that is not the energy that you want to be in for your next level self, especially becoming the iconic woman. This season, I just want to be clear, okay, this season, the void, it is an punishment. It is an initiation for you. It is you saying, yes, I am committed to my mission, to my movement, to my truth, to what I want and desire, right? Because your old body is going to want to default to old pricing. It's going to want to default to the older clients. It's going to want to default to maybe overgiving patterns, right? Because that is just like a nervous system response. Like, oh my gosh, I have to overgive and overprove in order to make this client happy, right? None of that can come with you to the next level version of yourself. None of that can come with me to the next level version of me. So this is why motivation won't hold you here. You could be motivated to live out these new standards, to call on these aligned clients, to, make more impact, to have more opportunities knocking at your door, to go ahead and host that retreat or write a book or create a mastermind or whatever it is. You could be motivated to do those things. But if you do not have the capacity to have more income, visibility, and impact, if you are in a place where you are still reacting to things, you are not doing it from a grounded place, you're just like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, wait, and you're reacting to things and you're not grounded, like your next level self isn't gonna land. If you are scrambling, that's not being in your iconic woman power. If you are collapsing and being like, oof, I'm just gonna stay safe where I'm at right now, you can't just have motivation. You have to have the capacity to get you to your next level, to catapult you there. Your embodied declaration to yourself right now in the void, okay? If this is resonating with you and you're like, yes, I feel like I'm in the void. I've questioned myself a few times and be like, who even am I? What are my beliefs? Who are my clients? What are my offers? What is going on? If you have not questioned yourself a couple times like that, then you're not in the void and this video is not for you. But if you've questioned, who even am I? What is going on here? What am I doing? And not from a place of like, I have no fucking clue, but just of like, all right, it's clear, but wow, am I really stepping into this higher version of myself? Kind of like a what the F moment, right? You need to make this embodied declaration to yourself. You trust your timing. You are going to hold in this void and be truthful to your morals, your values, your new higher standards, all of that. And trust timing and say, I am being her now. I am being the next level identity, the iconic woman right now, and the external world just has to catch up. So you trust your timing. You trust your new standards and you don't falter to the old ones. You trust yourself. You trust yourself. That is one of the most challenging things to do when you are in the void, because this is like the time, like I said, of the unknown and uncertainty. But when you are grounded and you trust yourself, this is when time fucking collapses. This is when your next level self lands. This is when the opportunities land. This is when the clients land. This is when everything catches up and you quantum leap. When you are secure with knowing, I trust my timing, I'm holding these higher standards, and I trust myself. That is so powerful. So if you are maybe just like hovering right now, you are maybe consuming things and being like, oh yes, I know that I can be there. I know that I can make that income that that person's making. I know that I can host this retreat in Bali. I know that I can write a book. I know that I can, raise my prices and work with these clients. If you were just like almost ready, you can see it, smell it, taste it, you're almost ready, okay? But you are consuming, you are hovering, you're like, oof, this is your pattern. This is gonna be a looping pattern until we address it at its root, until we rewire it within. If you want leadership, but you keep waiting for that certainty, this is where you're gonna stall, because it is being certain in the uncertain. But if you're waiting for the certainty, that's when you're going to stall. And if your body keeps pulling you back to what's safe, it keeps pulling you back to your older identity, I see you. I know you watching this right now. You are self-led. You know what readiness feels like in your body. You know what it's like to be guided versus rescued. And you don't want to be saved. You don't want to be rescued. You don't want people telling you what to do. You deep down know what to do. You just need to be guided and led there. You need to be shown the path, right? So I work with women who decide that they want to be the next level versions of them right now, especially right now. Moving into 2026, like what better timing to really step into this version of you? Identity shifting, collapsing time, quantum leaping, 10xing yourself, 100xing yourself, okay? It isn't for the faint of heart. It is for those building legacies, movements, heart-led leaders that are in it for the long game and the end game. So are you in it for the long game? Are you in it for the infinite game? And before we close, I want to anchor this into your body. I'm going to guide you through a somatic practice right now. I want you to just take a minute to drop into your body, because this maybe stirred up some things in you listening to all of this, okay? Wherever you are, go ahead and gently place one hand on your chest And if it feels safe, you can let your eyes soften or close. I want you to bring to mind one standard that you know you've been tempted to lower. Not because it's wrong, but because it would just feel easier. Now notice where that standard lives in your body. There is no need to change anything. I want you to just notice. Where does it live? Where are you feeling maybe some activation in your body? Let your breath move into that space in your body and gently remind your body it is safe for me to hold my ground. You don't need to force the next step. You don't need to rush clarity. You only need to stay with yourself. Let's take a final breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes. If this met you with where you are, I want you to stay close. This is what embodied leadership actually looks like. Mwah. It's time to remember who the fuck you are. You're an icon. Now let's lead like it and become the next level version of yourself. Love you. Mwah.